Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another video. First day with the 94 4RUNNER. I'm not a fan of these 4RUNNER for some reason. You guys remember I had a 4RUNNER just like this and I wrecked it in 2021. I went on a fishing trip. I rode it on a fishing trip. Rode it twice. Fell onto the bank of the highway, and I walked away with zero injury. Not even a small scratch. They are a tough rig. I will give them credit that, but I feel like they're not part of my heart anymore. The only reason why I bought it was because it has the aftermarket stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. 94 4RUNNER, originally 3.0, 5-speed, has been 3/4 swap. Now here's a little record from the owner that I bought it from. They did a 3/4 swap back in 2010. They used a 3/4 from a T100, a 95 T100 or something like that. So it does have a T100 harness and an ECU, which is good, manual ECU. They did it in 2010, and then I think they drove it up to Alaska, and then in 2018 through 2024, so 4, 5, 6 years, it just sat because the owners, they got like new Toyota, so it just sat in Soldotna at their parents' place for those 6 years, and then he finally got it started. The owner lives in Anchorage, but his parents lives in Soldotna. So that's the story behind it. So it does start. Looks like they put a new battery in it and all that fun stuff. And he did went ahead and rolled it, or at least he flipped it on the side. So there's some damage on the side, but for the most part, it has some pretty cool stuff. ARB bumpers, the 3/4 swap, has the manual locking hub, and also has the ASIN. Not the ASIN. The factory 456 gear. So this is the ARB. We'll start at the front here. ARB front bumper. This must be an older version because I don't see where a winch will go. There's no plate for a winch or anything like that. These are recovery toe points, which is pretty thin, like a 1/4 inch metal. This bumper should fit on the pickups as well, same mount style. I do like this style. It looks better than the Trail Gear. Looks better than the Trail Gear 2 bumpers, but I have a winch and I need to put a winch, so this don't have a winch mount, so I'm just gonna go ahead and sell it. Has a little nice LED bar, nothing special. I haven't tested out if it works yet. I don't think it's working right now. Other than that, skid plates on right now. The CV axles are decent. I think they're starting to rip, and the alignment's bad because it's pulling to the driver. Nothing crazy, but he told me that once you go over 40 miles an hour, it really pulls, so it's not recommended to drive. The front differential is the long tube style, so it doesn't have that ADD stuff, so that's pretty cool. Has the manual locking hubs. These are always nice to have. These are not lockers, these are locking hubs, so those are always good to have. It has some 17-inch tires and wheels originally on it, but then he wanted to keep that, so he kept those, and we were able to talk the price down, and then he was able to find these cheap rollers. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep these for rollers because these are really nice when you're towing. It's nice to have some 235s and something small, so this is perfect. You can see it has some pretty decent rust. Nothing crazy, but definitely enough rust where it'll make the job a little PITA if you started to turn wrenches. Fender still looks good, has typical fade. Windshield wipers are nice. I always like to keep these caps right here. These wipers are nice. These are the J hooks, so I always want to keep these. The hood is still nice. Couldn't use a little buffing, nothing crazy. This windshield is almost brand new. I noticed that last night when I was driving it. This windshield is pretty brand new. It has no dents or nothing like that, or no cracks. I want to keep the mirrors because these mirrors, they fit on my truck as well. My black pickup, the passenger currently has a 4RUNNER mirror, and these mirrors, they're not really rectangular, they're more square shaped, a little bit more bigger. So exterior is like that. Pretty bad. Typical red. This red here from Toyota is the Cardinal red, which is my favorite color, but it's known for this little clear coat and also the fading. The window doesn't roll, and this is the damage where it happened. Has a little nice hitch. See all the rust over here. He does have Land Cruiser springs on here, so those are Land Cruiser rear springs, and those will make your 4RUNNER have like a 1 or 2 inch lift. Nothing really over here. Second gen 4RUNNER, they're known for missing their fuel door because that thing always falls apart. And I feel bad because he just renewed his registration, so this registration is good for the next 2 years. But I could drive it. I can daily it, but we're probably not gonna daily it. These are the nice interior. So this is the leather interior on the 94. They do came in leather. Nice interior. And then you can see 94. The gear is right here. The G254. That's your 456. Pretty simple right there. 5-speed. Console looks good. This piece looks good. I might keep this piece here. This center console. This one is actually in better shape than my black Toyota, and this is the perfect color too. This is the gray. So these parts have been switched out before, so I want to keep this for my truck. This center console is not the right color for my truck, but it's a center console, so I think I might go ahead and pull this console, and I'm pretty sure this console should fit onto my truck. Has a bunch of relays, like I don't have any of those. Has an AC system. I think they delete the AC already. Has a little nice Sony. The cup holder is nice. It works fine, so we'll go ahead and keep that. Ashtray is nice. This is the tan interior, and then has all these little knobs. I got plenty of these knobs. You always want to keep those for spares. But other than that, guys, lots of good stuff. I really like this right here, guys. You guys see this dashboard mat? This dashboard mat is brown, but I think this will fit my truck too. If this fits my truck, I'm gonna put it on my truck. Look how awesome it is. Has your typical dashboard cracks, but I'm gonna keep that for sure. Put some Velcro on it. This one's dead. This one's alive. Has a sunroof. I wish the Toyota pickup sunroof was like this, where they have a built-in sunroof cover, because the sunroof on the pickup, they are a unicorn part, and it's really hard to find. Seat belts are still in good shape. Look at that. Seat belt has no rips, nothing like that. The miles on this truck is unknown. This one says 90,000 miles, but it's been replaced. So I think the original miles is right here. I think this might be the original cluster. 308,000 miles, and I kind of believe that. Has some floor mats. These are some floor mats, brown floor mats. I don't know what this is. It's pretty light. We'll go ahead and open that up in a bit here. Nothing in the back really. Looks like they removed some of the seat belts already. He was using this as a storage for typical stuff. It looks like there's an MAF. Oh, that's nice. Always want to have these for backup. I have plenty of these already, so it's not like I really need them. What else is there? We'll keep that for spare. We'll keep this for spare. These are always good. These are SR5 gauges. The leather seats has the backing seats of it, but it doesn't have the front seats, so we'll probably rip all that out, probably sell it, we'll do whatever with it. Looks like the seat belt's been cut. Always want to keep this piece right here. If you don't have a spare tire removal, the 4RUNNER, they're different, so always want to have the long version and the short version. And it doesn't have the pump, but it's all good. We don't need the jack or anything like that. There's a white rock, and there's 10 cents to recover some expense back. And then the manual book, or these are the, everyone should have these. If you love Toyota, you want to work on your own Toyota, you need to have a book. So I have one of these already, so I'll go ahead and keep this for whatever. Maybe give it to somebody that might need it. Seat belts are decent. I probably won't even bother doing anything with that. The console, seats. These seats are leather as well. Let's see if there's anything in here. Heat packs. I always want to dig through here in case you find something pretty cool. So this driver's seat's pretty ripped up already. That's why they have the seat covers on it. But it looks like there's just a bunch of trash out here. Yeah, a bunch of trash. I'm not gonna dig through it. Okay, guys, let's go see what else is over here on the driver's side, passenger side. On the passenger side, we have the mirrors. These mirrors are good, so we're going to keep them as well. Like I said, the doors are still really nice. They're just faded. Yeah, all the doors are still really nice. Good glass. And the interior panel is really nice too. All this interior panel, door card, they're still really in good shape. Same as the seatbelt here. Seatbelt's still nice. Has the little hippie covers, but looks really good. If we pull the seats, oh, the seats are bad. I can tell it's ripped already right here. So we'll go ahead and leave that on. And then this is the mash. This is called the dash mat. This is the company that makes it. So this one looks really nice. You just probably got to put some new Velcro. I'm definitely keeping that for sure. Even though it's not the right color, it's fine. Has the owner manual, bunch of owner's manual and stuff like that, and then the registration from the previous owner, all that fun stuff. And then I found something in here. Looks like there's a brand bottle, the Clan Malt Scotch whiskey. I'm gonna go ahead and Google this, see if this is worth any money. But this is a brand new bottle, and it looks like it's super expensive, or looks like it looks like something that you want to keep up as a souvenir. But I don't drink or anything like that, so we'll just go ahead and keep this for souvenir. And then it looks like it has a little light bulb in here too as well. Nothing that we need. So plenty of that. I don't really need anything interior wise, you know. I just want to keep these little things right here. This stuff, shifters and stuff like that if I do gut it out. But for the most part, that's pretty much it. The visors are really nice. The visors are the brown visor. I don't need the brown visor, but they're nice if somebody has the brown interior. Oh, I also need something real quick too. I need to show you guys. So this piece right here. Oh yeah, so this is a good piece. So this black piece right here on my truck here, it's broken. So I want to pull this one out because the tab, there's a tab that pokes into the door, which is what holds it in place. And hopefully this is the same size that will fit mine, but I want to keep that for sure. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for interior. Nothing really too exciting. Let's go ahead and pop out the engine and check out the engine. I want to see how they did the 3/4 swap, because they did this back in 2010, which is almost 14 years ago. You know, things weren't fully developed back then, so I want to see how they did it. The ECU is still down there along with the OBD2, so I want to see what difference they made and what difference. All right everyone, so let's take a look at this. So this is a pretty much brand new battery, which is really nice. Interstate. This one has had the wrong terminal because the positive is over here. Usually you want the positive to be on the inside and the negative to be on the inside. The reason being is you don't want this to be on the outside, because the positive, if it touches anything, it might cause any sparks or anything like that. So this does have the T100 set up. So the T100 doesn't have the evap box. You guys already know that, because if you did, it had the evap box right here in front of the battery. It has the original radiator. This is the metal one, the copper. Hopefully it's not leaking or nothing. Looks like this is the 3.0 fan, alternator. Pretty interesting stuff. I'm just taking a look and see what they did differently. So the brake booster, it doesn't have a check valve. And usually there's supposed to be a check valve right here. So that's interesting. The heater hose is all messed up, or not messed up, but it's all built up differently. The air filter, this is my first time seeing it. They didn't run it through the air box. They just ran it through a cone, which is fine. So that's nice. This is the same air filter, almost the same one as mine. And then they used the original intake. So pretty interesting. It's not a clean setup. You can see the hot wire for the alternator. This is your hot wire that they tapped to, and then they ran it back to the red, which is right here. So for me, I ran mine through the starter, but this is fine, but it's not super clean. Power steering is right down there, so that's 3/4. So it's definitely, it's good. It's definitely a good job for 2010 swap. The bracket, you can see the bracket, they bent this bracket already, which is what you're supposed to do, but it's barely on there, so that needs to be fixed more. Plenty of tension, capped off, and VSV right here. This is T100 stuff, so I don't have this right here on my rig. Timing belt, we don't know the miles of the timing belt, the status of it. AC has been deleted, and they are still running a charcoal canister, which is interesting, which is fine. This isn't the right way to do it though. This is breather valve. It's not supposed to go down here. This goes down to your ADD stuff. What's interesting? So that's all different. It has the ABS stuff, and this is the T100 harness, because T100 is much more longer and bigger, so you can tell right away. So it has some pretty cool things to it. And this right here, what is this? Oh, this is the fuel line. So this fuel line is different. Where is this fuel line from? This is a T100 fuel line, I think. So interesting rig. interesting way they did it. Nothing crazy. This is the cruise control right here. This can be taken out. This bracket right here. And this engine runs and all. Has coolant, good coolant. This right here is rubbing this hose right here. You can see. So probably want to remove this fan shroud. Or maybe it's just loose. But definitely want to remove that. Coolant's good. Coolant, check the coolant. I don't know when the last oil change was done, but oil's definitely bad. Needs to be changed. You can see right there. And the transmission is leaking like crazy, so either the transmission or the T-case. So that's pretty interesting. This is all the ABS crap for 94 and stuff. Yeah, so interesting stuff, guys. Interesting to see how they did it back then. And usually all these lines right here will go to the evap box if it was like a 4Runner setup. And you can see it's rubbing a little bit. You know, on the hood, you can see these guys, they cut the hood brace like how I did it back then. But that's not the problem because it still rubs right here. You can see where it rubs right there and right there. And it's rubbing right here. So it rubs a little bit. Eventually it's going to rub to the hood or it's going to get down to the intake. So that's pretty much it right there. Once I get this engine pulled out, I want to see how they did the crossover. But you can see the crossover has been also wrapped in heat exhaust wrap. So that's pretty interesting as well. There's a ground wire. That's a ground to chassis. It's not hooked up. So that's pretty interesting. This is a long fuel line. I think this is the fuel line right here. No, the fuel line is right here. This is the fuel line. This is the return line right here. So it's definitely could have been a better, cleaner swap, but it's good. And we don't have an estimated miles on the motor. The miles on the motor is unknown. The only thing we have is odometer reading 192. So this thing has probably around the 200,000 miles, 230, 240. But T100, so this one has a 3.0 oil pan and all that fun stuff already, which is pretty cool. I don't see any leaks on the front main seal, anything like that, but once I pull it out, if I do rebuild this, I'll go ahead and reseal everything up. And once we get the engine out, we can also pop the cover and inspect that timing belt. You can see right here, they custom made the battery tray right here. Like I said, back then, 2010, toy only swap. I don't think they were out yet, or they weren't designing their stuff yet, but you know, you use what you had back then, so it's pretty cool. Has a bunch of harness for the LED. I don't think the LED is hooked up or anything like that. But let me go ahead and give you guys a first start. That's pretty much it right there. Starts right up, guys. Sounds good too. The exhaust is a bit loud because it has the cherry bomb pipe, but that's just the exhaust stuff. Before I yank this motor out, I want to do a compression test, and I want to check the compression on all cylinder and just see how healthy this motor is. That's one thing I'm starting to do with all my engine, is take the time and do a quick compression test. You guys can see that cherry bomb pipe. Sounds pretty good actually, to be honest. A little bit louder than I want, but pretty good. Nothing bad. Has an exhaust leak right there. Pretty rusty frame. Nothing structural yet, but it's definitely cancer. Has the 3.0 cat converter, and then hooked up to the downpipe right there. And then you can see the T-case is super leaky. All leaky stuff, nothing too crazy. Sounds great though, man. Sounds amazing. I think it's lower coolant too. Could use some more coolant, I think. Nothing in there. Maybe I'll put some coolant in there real quick. The heat works nice and good, nice and well. Radio works, I think. Let me see here. What do we got for the radio? It's turning on right now, but we're not gonna mess with it. Temperature works. It's just still warming up. The RPM, like I said yesterday, RPM gauge doesn't work because they haven't done the TAC mod. And then this is a nice cluster just because it has 90,000 miles. They don't see the switch for the LEDs, so I think they unhook all that stuff off. That's pretty much it right here. Pretty cool. Cool little 4Runner 4-banger. Let's go ahead and remove this right here, because this I am keeping. The dash mat. Very common for the dashboard to be cracked. Very, very typical. Usually when it's cracked like that, it means that it came from a place that's hot, like California, where the sun is always beating up on the dash. That's why a lot of people put this right here to protect it and also to cover it up. Heater works good though. Heater is nice and hot. I went ahead and added a little bit more coolant. It wasn't super low, but it definitely needed a little bit more coolant though. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and take the time to clean up this engine bay. I want to pressure wash it, degrease it just for the heck of it. And then take it for some more driving around and just see how good it is. I know it drives fine, but I want to get it up to speed and see how bad the alignment is. I don't think I'm gonna fix it, but for the most part I want to clean it up before I pull it out. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. Keep you guys posted on the next video on what I decide to do, with regardless if I gotta pull this out or not. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys follow the Instagram NuttyNu_4R4. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye bye.